Welcome. I have with me Trent and Sam. This is the second episode of Reading Between the Lines with Tan. Welcome, Trent. Welcome, Sam.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
Ab- Absolutely. Many of you may know Trent as the developer of the Chrome extension, which told you of the mint prices when you open a property card, right? And that's how I came to know of Trent. I talked to him, and as we talked further, I came to know a lot about him, and then subsequently from that, Trent and Sam are co-founders of a startup called NFT Gamer TV. So I came to know of Sam as well. But going forwards, why don't we begin by brief introductions? Trent, why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Trent, aka TD or TDavis, depending on where you know me from. I've been in the NFT space for a little bit now. I would say at least 2-3 years, and crypto blockchain a little bit longer. I've always been a huge fan of tech, and I just kind of love the direction that everything is going with Web3, and can't wait to see all the cool stuff that's to come in the near future.
Great, great. Sam, why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
My name is Sam, or I guess in Upland it's Sanyika, or a lot of people pronounce it Sanyika or Sani. Not the right way to pronounce it, but I just never corrected anybody. But I've been
That's not
switching to
true.
Sam. Anyway, a little bit about my background. I guess for NFTs, really started with gaming ever since I was little, and then trading skins through like middle school and high school in Rocket League. Before my account started getting shut down, and then Epic Games bought them and kind of just crushed their skin market by overproducing the skins. And the whole chest, there used to be a whole market for the chests they had in the game. That's pretty dead. Yeah, anyway, from there, I had been super into Monopoly, so a property trading game sounded really interesting to me, especially something where you could own your own property. I had heard about Earth 2, but found out that wasn't actually NFT based at the start or blockchain based. So I looked for one that was and found Upland. And I know now that Earth 2 has become blockchain based, but I feel like back then I wasn't willing to put the faith into it, so I chose to put faith into Upland instead. And decided to enter with a splash by buying Grand Central, which TD, that was how I met TD. He basically walked me through the like 101 for Upland, like what the little airplanes are, and that's how you send to places. And I remember complaining about like having to take a plane to get to New York to buy Grand Central, and I was like, can't they just take my money? Like, why do I have to travel? Now I actually really appreciate the traveling within the game. It makes it like a whole different experience. And yeah, that was kind of how I started out into NFTs. And then TD and I just grew a friendship from there, and NFT gamer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let me ask you this question. When did both of you join Upland?
I believe my Upland birth date is August 1st, 2020.
Mine's February 23rd, 2021, I think.
Okay. So let me ask you a follow-up question on that, right? And both of you, please feel free to answer that. We're going through this global disease that we can't name because of YouTube policy, obviously. And you have the faith that an obscure uh, technology which didn't become as popular because Mark Zuckerberg didn't make that announcement, right? But that's when it really took off. But you're back, Trent, in July or August 2020, and then subsequently, Sani, you joining in. Um, and Mark Zuckerberg didn't make that announcement till like August of 2021. So what was your thought pattern and what was going through your mind that made you join, and then not only join but put real money in Upland?
So I remember that I was perusing websites that were showing the latest Ethereum decentral applications, because back then that was really that was all that was going on with dApps. Solidity was in its like infancy, and decentralized applications were all being just built with that. And well, I guess that's not true, because EOS had their ICO back then, and I remember I saw a banner ad on a stateofthedapps.com website, and when I clicked through to it, I saw that it said uh, that there was an app available for it. And now, back in 2020, like a DApp that's a mobile download, like what? Like, what is this? There's no way that they can integrate the blockchain with a mobile app, can they? And one thing kind of led to another. That was when I first joined Discord, which was like life changing, literally, because I am not a gamer, I guess, by definition. And so I had no experience with Discord, and I joined the Upland Discord, and just kind of immediately fell in love with the community and the just what it brought and what it felt like to be part of something at such an early stage with so much potential. And we're starting to see a lot of that manifest now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, to answer your question, why did I put in real money? I think initially it was nothing near what Sandy put in. I think it was maybe, I think it was like $120 maybe to start. And I think it was in like, it was 20 at first, and then I think a couple days later, like 100. And which got me a pretty decent start. Admittedly, it wasn't until much later that I actually put in some serious cash. I guess it was January or February of the following year that I went heavy. But yeah, I remember I traded in I traded 2 ETH I had at the time, which was, I think it was like $800, man. When Manhattan opened. Sandy, did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Yeah, dude. In hindsight, I feel like that was a good investment. And the price of ETH now, and what I was able to get in Manhattan with all of that, I feel like yeah, I have no complaints. But yeah, I believed early on in the vision that the EOS founders, Dirk and Aiden, had for what they saw as I believe you're alluding to the word metaverse, and the utility of NFTs, and it just really being the future of the internet, like Web3. I've always been a big believer in decentralization and all of that brings to the table for us.
Absolutely. Sam, how about yourself?
I feel like it's honestly the games that really defined what, in my opinion, Mark Zuckerberg took advantage of. Like, there are tons of games that have created what he's saying is now, like, he created Metaverse. But past that, like, those games are what gave me faith to do this in Upland. And like, just imagining in the past, like as a kid, if I'd been able to own my assets in Club Penguin, like I could have been making money as an 8-year-old. And I think that's incredible. Yeah, so just a lot of faith in that sort of idea. And I feel like I've kind of done the same thing in a few other projects as well, where just like that concept and the team as well. Like both the founders are amazing at Upland. And they've done a really good job of just surrounding themselves with more and more amazing people. And yeah, I'm excited for their future.
Absolutely. Also, that Club Penguin example, I was just talking yesterday to Heavily Bills about when we're going to launch the life token. Wouldn't it be great to have your own pet llama that you have to take for a walk and then essentially feed them? Same how we used to do that in Club Penguin if you had a pet in Club Penguin.
Yeah.
So don't you think that kind of a life token use case would be something that would create more daily active users if we could sort of create a similar protocol to Club Penguin.
I think so. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
think it would be interesting how you would balance tokenomics with something like that with the ones that already exist in Upland. But I think just in general, the idea of having pets would be awesome and
Absolutely.
definitely bring more activity to the game.
Yep.
Like the
So Trent, let me ask you this question. You said that initially when you joined Upland, you didn't really go big into Upland, right? And then you took a few
Right.
months and then you went big into Upland. Do you regret that decision?
I don't. I feel like so I wasn't the earliest. I think April of or August of 2019 is like as far back as you can go with
Dizzy
Upland.
Disky,
But
I believe.
yeah,
Was the
but yeah, I mean, yeah, Dizzy was the only whale really, next to maybe TML, but that was kind of night and day with the size of their accounts. And I was early enough to where like I got a good foothold into like what I wanted to get my foothold into, which was Little Italy in Manhattan. Like I whaled there. I feel like I'm still the number one landholder in that neighborhood, which I'm pretty happy about. And yeah, I built a lot of like the value that I got out of being there so early was not necessarily like my NFT investments, even though that is like pretty significant also. Like the real value that I feel like that I got out of being that early is the relationships that I've built, the community that I'm a part of. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Probably not many people are, but I'm a moderator in the Upland Discord. Which I'm pretty proud of that because it took a lot of work and building and creating of relationships to actually even earn that status. And even though I'm not as active as a mod, when y'all ping the mods, I assure you I see all of them. Just their other ones are a lot faster kicking out the people that are triggering those alerts. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. I'm kind of rambling now.
Absolutely. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you think what's being discussed is nice and you'd like to join the discussion, please comment below. And if you'd like to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you. With that, actually, I did know that you're a moderator. So yeah, I did actually know that you're a moderator, Trent. And in fact, I had a question related to that because I know you run a really popular meta ventures called Blockerfellas, and I
Yeah.
would really like you to talk to us about that and what's your vision with Blockerfellas.
Well, so it's the name is a play on two of my favorite things, which it would be Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records, and obviously Goodfellas and the I guess the gangster mafia obsession that we have here in the United States. It's to play on those two things. Obviously, it's in Little Italy, Fresno, which, as I just stated, like that was kind of where I whaled when Manhattan opened. I've always been a huge fan of, gangster flicks, Goodfellas, Bronx Tale, all of them. Love them all, and that's kind of where I had set my so back when I joined, and I feel like a lot of people in that time frame, they all did the same thing. Like when they saw San Francisco, the first thing that they did was like Googled famous San Francisco properties, right? Like everybody did that. And then you went and you looked and you saw they were all owned and you got like super frustrated and you're like, who is this person? Thank me later who owns them all or or God, who else was it? You know, you saw the same names over and over, and they had all of them, and it was just super frustrating. And so when a new city opened, you were like, all right, now it's my turn. And the way Manhattan opened, it opened in phases. Bubbles is what they were called. The first bubble didn't have a whole lot, if I remember correctly, but it did have like the upper part. So they split Little Italy into two sections, and I remember like my target property was the Ravenite, which was John Gotti's social club on Mulberry Street, and like it's kind of hilarious when I think back to how kind of naive I was to like what value was in Upland back then. But you know, that's the most valuable property that I own because it was, you know, the thing that I targeted first when Manhattan opened. And is it a collection? Yeah, by coincidence, it is. And the way that they released the NYC collections was super cool because they did do Little Italy first because of the community. You know, it wasn't the first node; it was the first Manhattan node. If y'all didn't know that by a pretty large margin, I would say also. Um, but yeah, they released that as the first collection, and
All right, Trent. You said that Little Italy was the first Manhattan node, right? Why don't you go ahead and give me a little bit more information about that?
yeah, I mean, it was before Node was even coined by Ben 68. I think we just had the term like neighborhood and mayors. It kind of is it was what we called it. And I wrote a publish 0x article that actually won an Upland competition. I'll have to link it to you. And it kind of goes into the history, like my history with the game and the neighborhood and how all that came about. And it's kind of how I'm Sam and I's relationship kind of started because you know, we had a secret, which is still kind of secret. Nobody really knows of it until now that I've mentioned it. But for a while we kind of just operated like very much like a mafia, like in the shadows and ran the Upland game, which like if you look back on all of those early competitions and such, like we dominated those like flat out, and it was a lot of fun. We have an amazing, I mean, still to this day, we have an amazing core community that has been the same group for the whole time. In fact, Sam and I had the luxury of going out to actually meet a lot of these people in person during NFTLA this last summer. But yeah, bringing Sam into that community was probably one of the best things that's happened to me because it you know, it blossomed into so much. You know, our friendship grew from there, and we founded NFT Gamer TV, and you know, that's a whole thing now. And yeah, all of it has roots in Upland and Little Italy, as do many other NFT projects, which I don't know if you're aware of that, but on the Wax blockchain, there are quite a few projects that if you were to trace them back to their origins, like Upland is at the root of all of that.
Right. Absolutely. And also bringing Sam into the conversation. And this is frankly a question to both of you, but Sam, why don't you answer this question first? Today we see a lot of new players, right? Who joined Upland essentially when Los Angeles was launched, or Detroit was launched, or Brazil or Portugal, and they're like, well, it's been 6 months. Why don't I see 100x return? Right. And that is a question that most of us see all the time. And you've been around for about good 2 or 1.5 years. And same with Trent, who joined in 2020. Him a little bit more. You somewhere in the 1 year range. What is your advice to these newer players who are coming in expecting a quick flip? You put $1,000, and I think a lot of their perspective is sort of framed from the get rich quick schemes from cryptos. So what is your advice to such players?
I feel like maybe don't go into gaming with that mindset. But if
Yeah,
you
man.
do, like I mean, it really depends on where the market's at, because like it's seen as an NFT game, so it's based on the broader NFT market, which is, albeit down in a lot of areas right now. So like now is just not the time when you would see returns like that. Like a lot of those returns that people have talked about in the past happened during a really large bull cycle. So and the like people who maybe bought like Brooklyn and got massive returns, that was kind of going into that bull cycle. And then like anybody who bought into that probably saw larger returns when the Meta announcement happened. And yeah, there was a lot going on that I feel like was leading to those 100x returns that we're not
Right.
seeing right now. So like that kind of explains why they're not seeing it, but also to give advice to them, I feel like it's not the goal of it. I would honestly recommend that people kind of view the game as more trading than like a profit making game, and think about trading properties with people and how that could be used within the game to make a larger profit.
Okay.
Like getting a row of buildings and trading them for one large building, and then getting a profit off of that large building that you traded it for.
Right. So that answers my next question, which was going to be like, what's your strategy? Which is trading, right? You're a trader within Upland, because there's different kinds of
I'm not big in
strategies.
it anymore, but I would say if I wanted to have a strategy right now, that's what I would do. I
Right.
mean, I
So you're
kind of
not a
just like wait
hodler,
for the
basically.
launches, and I'm
Oh
just a
yeah,
hodler,
dude.
yeah.
A huge hodler, dude.
You
Big
are a hodler.
hodler.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
hodler
dude.
myself. So
Like I don't think I'll ever sell Grand Central. I just want to figure out a way to, I don't know. Well, I
create
guess I just
Yeah,
keep
like
utility.
what did
investing
he
in new
do most
cities. Yeah.
recently? Sandy's lived in Dallas, right? And you know, so it was kind of a big deal that Dallas released, and he let his divs sit. And Sandy, tell him what you did with your divs.
Oh, I bought one of the terminals at DFW.
Oh, nice.
That's I feel like that's the kind of stuff I try to save up for, because especially
Yeah,
after
man.
TD named me the head of transportation, I gotta meet
Yeah,
my
man.
name.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Right. Same question to you, Trent. Someone who is not seeing a 100x return, what's your advice to them?
Well, so I guess just kind of tacking on to what Sandy said, um, you know, what we saw in early mid 2021, like I don't know that we're ever going to get back to that, right? Like there was a lot going on. You had like the Top Shot phenomena going on. You had like ETH just doing like insane numbers, and like I, you know, I feel like we will see another bull run, and it's going to be kind of outside of our control. Like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like finance and economic things that like I don't quite understand, but like I know they exist. Like, you know, like Wall Street and just the overall financial health of the global economy plays a huge role in everything. And like that NFT madness that we saw, I don't know that we're gonna see that again. But that doesn't mean that it's still not going to be a great place for you to get some wins, right? Like we're still seeing that, right? Like when anytime a new city opens, doing your research and you know, using the communities that are out there. Like there's that really good one that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but like they deep dive every city and they lay it out and they have a
Analytics
great
assassin.
track. Say again.
Analytics assassin.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. You know, see, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? So like they're legit. They do all of that research and they have a great track record with you know, like predicting and naming what you should be going after, because you know, that's where you're going to see your best returns. It's going to be learning how to, like, what the tricks are on city releases, and like one of my favorites is like you never disembark from the terminal. Like when you arrive in the city, like sit there, like wait, because like that disembarkment, like you're only going to get that once, because if you think you're sending back to that terminal, like you're out of your mind. Like you're not going to be able to do it. All the tickets are going to be gone, and now you're stuck floating wherever you happen to be floating. And that's what I did on the most recent Dallas release. And although I missed on my target property, which was on Main Street, which is just right there by the terminal, I did happen to grab one nearby, which again, wasn't an ultra rare, but it was right there amongst all the other ones. And just following that strategy, right? Like, had you done the same thing that I did and maybe didn't click on it and buy the property that I did, maybe one like catty corner or the one next to it, like, boom, like you could have ended up with a UR property. And now you're talking about maybe not 100x, but you're going to definitely get more than what you paid for it if you decide to sell that for UPX or USD or whatever.
Okay.
So
let me ask you one question, since you mentioned about Dallas, right?
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you found out that Arts District wasn't a collection?
You know what? I'll let Sani answer that, right? Since I would call him
I was the one that pushed pretty hard on that too. Like I kept saying,
Yeah.
I remember TD was asking me what I thought would be one, and I was like, definitely the Arts District. So I was surprised, but
a lot of players were caught off guard when Arts District didn't make collections. So yeah.
I feel like there's still a lot you can do with Arts District though, like in terms
Absolutely.
of like
Yeah, and
like
just to go
shops and
to
stuff
answer
there.
your initial question, like what advice I would have, I would say like exactly that. Like if you're not seeing a value in what you have, like go make your own value. Like it's we see it all of the time. We see demand for properties in neighborhoods spiking because somebody made something out of that area in that neighborhood, and it's not unique to that person. Anyone can do it. So go create your own value. That's the best advice I could give to anyone.
Absolutely. And in fact, so talking on that point, I think Portage Park is like a poster child of that, right? Portage Park isn't a collection, but they've made the neighborhood into a community where it is one of the topmost nodes within Upland. So yeah.
I didn't even I've heard of it. I'm not gonna front like I didn't, but God, I've been kind of disconnected. Where is that? What city is that in?
It's in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. God damn it. So I knew that. I knew that. Do I have any in that neighborhood? I don't know if I do. Yeah.
Russell's the
Yeah.
mayor, by the way. So if you know Russell.
Yeah, I do. Oh yeah, I got this nice little yeah, dude. I got this nice little point here.
Great.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm in Portage Park. Hell yeah, I am.
Okay.
Got one there.
If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you think what's being discussed is nice and you'd like to join the discussion, please comment below. And if you'd like to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you. All right. So Sam, let me ask you a question, right? You, both of you, essentially have been around the crypto and NFT and the metaverse industry since around 2016, 17, right? We had a massive winter in 2017 for the whole crypto industry. And one could argue that we're going through one right now. So if I had to ask you to draw a comparison between how 2017 saw a lot of value wiped out and then a shakeout and all the bigger cryptos emerging, and if something similar is happening within the NFT and the metaverse and the Web3 space, how are you looking at the industry as a whole right now? And how would you uh, how would you advise someone to think about that?
I feel like everybody just needs to do more research on everything they're buying. And I feel like that's a big part of like the shakeout that's happening with NFTs. It's more of like you can't just launch a collection and mint out anymore, versus in the past, like it was so easy to scam people because basically you could like spit on the floor and mint that out. Um, and that just isn't possible anymore. I think it's good for the community. It's hard to go through a downturn, but I think in the long run it'll be good for all the projects that make it through it, and they'll all be stronger getting out of it. Um, and so just picking the projects that you think can make it through an economic downturn. Like imagine things getting worse from here and try to think like, could they handle that?
Yep, absolutely. How about you, Trent?
I'm a big proponent of you build in the bear market, right? For those that can build, right, or do build. And like Sam just said, like the projects and the companies that are going to be around long term, they're not worried about their bottom line, or I mean, there's definitely some stresses and some concerns from within these companies. I'm sure. I know that we are feeling them, but the real winners are going to be the ones that are building now, right? Like, and because we've seen that previously, like in 2017, like I think Crypto Kitties and Top Shot and Dapper Labs was just forming, and they were building and they were making stuff and they were doing cool things, and look how that turned out. Like they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, NFT projects out there, at the moment. And that's where I feel like what we're going to need to see out of this 2022 is, who's building, who's doing cool stuff, who's innovating, who's creating utility, and looking to the future, and not necessarily worried about what their profits look like for 2022 Q4 or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, that's what I would that's the kind of parallels and comparisons that I make. I want to see who's going to be the next Dapper Labs, not
Absolutely.
whatever like Dogecoin or whatever was going on in 2017. Whatever. I think ICOs were the thing, right? Like I'm not looking at ICOs right now. I'm looking for Dapper Labs. Like you know, where
Absolutely.
where where's that going to come from?
Absolutely. So talking of that, and Trent, you sort of are known within Upland for your Upland extension, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about how you started it, what you're doing with it, and what is the future for Upland extension for
Yeah.
all of us. So
Yeah, great question. So initially, the extension was a way to add features and functionality to Upland that were badly needed and missing. Um, you know, if I can dig up one of the old videos that I had published to YouTube on like just what it did and how to install it and all of that. Seeing other Block Explorer. I don't know if guys know this, but like the original Upland extension added that feature before Upland, in fact, implemented it themselves. So like you'd be floating around and there would be all these other Block Explorers and they would just be clouding your vision when you're trying to treasure hunt and all of that. And so yeah, one of the earliest features that it had was hide other Block Explorers, and then add the original mint price to the property card, and um, um, all of the other thing. I can't, for some reason I'm drawing a blank, the features that we added to it. And it got some usage. I remember to get into to get the extension early on, you had to buy an NFT on Wax, which in hindsight, right, like that was kind of genius, man. Like why did I ever not continue down that road where NFT utility was tied directly to um code. And we're kind of seeing that now with projects like Coral Community on Solana. They've coined the term X NFT, which the X stands for executable, and it's exactly that, right? They're embedding code into NFTs, and combining those two, and the power and the simplicity of it all. It's kind of like, I'm kind of annoyed that it's taken this long for me to get back on course with what I feel like is the future of Web3 and NFTs. But it's exactly that. It's bringing the Web2 development community into Web3 through a platform that allows them to add to the existing apps and marketplaces and other Web3 sites and utilities that are out there, in a way that commoditizes their work and allows them to distribute it freely to anybody who wants to take advantage of that, right? And so I know what I'm saying doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but like that's kind of like the crux of what we're working on, right? The V2 version of the Upland extension is going to be far beyond just Upland. It's going to be a chain agnostic, browser agnostic, really any website, any app that is opened in a browser, this add-on will be able to add to, and through a bunch of cutting edge technologies, things like bit.dev and Plasmo. Shout out to those guys. Have an incredible framework for browser add-ons. I'm hoping that the proof of concept will be able to show that we can bring in Web2 devs by droves and have them add to whatever Web3 app or game or marketplace there is out there, in a way that rewards them for their efforts and adds a ton of utility and features, and starts to place those bridges over all of those gaps that there are in all of the infrastructure and indie dev teams that are trying to build the metaverse and Web3, but just don't quite have the resources. Like, let's bring them all together and give them the help that they need by just leveraging this utility. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to share more with you. I'm at the very early stages, but I definitely have it to where NFTs are tied in, and it's super cool. I can't wait to show you some more.
Absolutely. Within Upland, for the Upland extension, are there any hints that you can drop of features that we can expect in the V2?
So, I mean, yeah, you've suggested one, right? Just bringing more data, right, to the sends, right? Like you had said, showing your existing sends on a UI.
Well,
UI,
there's a daily limit of 80 cents, right? And
right? Yeah,
abruptly it ends many times. So
right,
a way where you know how many out of those 80 you've used
right, yeah,
for the day, that counter would be great.
right, exactly. And it would be so easy with this platform, and I'll show you this hopefully soon. It'll be very easy for like that request to come in and be filled by anybody who knows how to code a simple JavaScript counter, right? Because that's all that we're talking about here. Ping an API, add a counter, put it in the UI, add it to an NFT, boom, deploy, which will be super cool once we start seeing that. And the sky's really the limit with the features. I can't imagine that there would be too much that somebody would be able to request and it not be it. I mean, if code can do it, then it could be done, and it's going to be super cool to see all of that. I know a lot of the property management features that have been sorely missed and needed. All of those are going to be addressed also, which is going to be super cool. The tech stack that I'm working with is, like I said, is very cutting edge, and it's a lot of really cool stuff. So I would say like just things like property searching and inventory searching, like all of that will be very easily done and very fast and
Great.
super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know, and we would love to bring you back and sort of interview you once
Right.
you
Yeah.
have that
Which,
ready.
if you didn't know this, I went to Vegas for the hackathon and am part of the Upland Dev Network and kind of excited to see what all of that brings, because that adds all of that third party dev stuff that is in addition to what the add-on can bring. So yeah,
Absolutely.
lots of cool things planned.
Absolutely. Also, so bringing Sam into the conversation, both of you have your startup called NFT Gamer TV,
Yeah.
which you co-founded in 2021, right?
Yep.
Why don't you guys tell me what it is, what's your vision for it, and how do you see that evolving over time? So over to you,
Yeah, go
Sam.
ahead, Sam.
Okay. We, I suppose, started as more of a media platform, just sort of trying to uh, give people a space to come talk about their projects. But future plans, uh, try to build tools for community members, which TD, as we talked about, has quite a bit of experience doing that. And then also, we're calling it Learn to Earn, but other projects have used the same definition for it. But basically, just a way to reward people for getting onboarded into the space and learn how to play the different games, similar to Upland. Like if I could have gotten rewarded for having learned what Ascend is, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so there's been over the last year or so, we've kind of had a few things that we've been working on, and a lot of them have gotten to like right around like the 75 to 80, maybe even 90% completion status. And then like something's halted the production, like one thing or another. And it's very kind of typical of I would imagine any startup, right? They all kind of deal with these types of like roadblocks and the bear market. Like I'm not going to say like that didn't affect us, like of course it did, right? It affected everybody in this space. But what we're currently working on, like I kind of said, like one of the best things about it is it ties everything together. It ties in a learning platform, a tooling platform, um, basically everything that we've thought of or tried to do up until this point all can be tied together into this sole utility. And like that's what's making me super excited about it, and kind of where I've had my head down for the last 2 weeks, missing announcements like Upland City's opening and not even realizing it, and you know lots of other things that I've missed. But yeah.
Absolutely.
um
Yep. So moving forward, I wanna do this rapid fire questions to both of you. I'll
sure. Yeah.
give you a question. I want both of your opinions or answers to that,
Okay.
and that'll be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fun thing. So question one, Trent, you can go first, and then Sam.
Yeah.
One underrated player within the Upland community that people don't follow enough, and whom you would like to give a shout out to.
BDAG, Dax Bricks, Outer Spaces.
Sam.
Oh, my turn. Das Mustang.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you think what's being discussed is nice and you'd like to join the discussion, please comment below. And if you'd like to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you. Your favorite city in Upland?
Oh, Manhattan, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's a layup.
Yeah.
Austin once it happens, actually.
Yeah, Manhattan for now.
So that brings to my next question. One city you would like Upland to open?
Yeah, Austin, without a doubt. you know, they pandered to TML with the Dallas. I mean, I'm sure people will be like, oh no, it had to do with the NFL, but we all know the truth that they did Dallas first because Thank Me Later is in Dallas. So we need Austin next. Upland. Go ahead, Sam.
So Austin, and then just to say a different one, Salt Lake City, I feel like it'd be a good one, or like Colorado,
Oh,
one of those two.
Any
Or even
international
Wyoming.
cities?
Somewhere, oh, international cities? Ooh. Something in Canada would be cool. It's a little close,
yeah,
but would still be cool to have.
Okay,
Toronto.
Or Japan. Japan would be a cool, or Singapore.
absolutely.
Sorry, I just named like 12 cities. So
It's all right. It's
get
all
to
right.
work, Upland.
Yep.
Mhm.
A feature that Upland does not have right now and does not have it on their roadmap, but you think should be on Upland's roadmap?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I got an idea.
Go for it, Sam.
I feel like it would be cool if the stock exchange were able to have like utility where you could walk inside of it and it showed you like this city floor price and everything, this city floor price, and had like times for the different cities and the like travel to get to different cities. I feel like something like that would be really interactive and fun.
Absolutely. So that actually, I'll give you a moment to think about it, Trent. Till
Oh, and
I
like
uh,
multi trips. That's something. Like if I want to get like from one destination to the other and then I need to take a bus, like if I could buy one ticket that just like covered all of that and my block explorer just automatically did it all and used the sends it needed.
Absolutely, that'd be a great feature. So I was just talking to Heavily Bills yesterday in the first episode, right? We were talking about, say, a mutual fund where you don't need to go buy land, you just have a fund manager buy that for you. So you diversify your risk. You
like a
just
REIT, maybe, right?
exactly like a
Yeah.
REIT. And then you just buy X number of shares within Upland mutual fund, and they can go do they become like your fund manager for you. So
Yeah, so I think in the US that kind of gets a little sticky because we're so stupid with how we treat NFTs and crypto here. Like our government is just greedy so they can get their taxes, everything's illegal, and oh, that's a security. And so you kind of like I feel like the REITs start to cross into that territory a little bit. So like I know that some have existed up until this point. Like that idea is, in fact, I believe I'm even in one of them if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, that's they can
fair enough.
happen, I think, kind of on the side. I don't know if Upland will ever be able to actually like officially support that for those reasons. It's just too
Yeah,
sticky of a situation when you start to get into investments and calling it that word.
absolutely,
And
absolutely. So do you have a feature for us, Trent?
well, I know that back when I think it was like 2 Halloweens ago now, they had a contest where you were to do I think a video and then that you uploaded your video to them and then they put it into your building, and it was a feature that we thought like oh this is how like the new Upland's going to be, like you're going to be able to go visit somebody's property and like walk into their house and see like this awesome 3D interactive. And I don't know if that's supposed to be coming with like the 3D with the third party dev tools or what, but I would like to see more 3D metaverse interactivity. And
Got it. Got it.
I think that's when things really start to get cool because I know that a lot of the early adopters, like that was all kind of like the vision that we were sold on, and it'd be cool to see that come to fruition, I think.
Absolutely. So let me ask the next rapid question to both of you.
Yeah.
One mistake of your Upland journey you would like to undo?
Shit, man. Sam, go ahead. Do you got one on that? I don't know.
Loki, I wish I'd waited an extra hour on Grand Central.
Oh
Saved an
yeah,
extra
dude.
2 million optics. but and then I could have bought more in New York with what I'd saved. Because I do wish I'd bought a lot more in New York. While I could have. I got some larger ones, but more on the side of like, I feel like I should have just gotten a ton of tiny ones just to have them to like slowly sell. Like I didn't really diversify in terms of my UPX squared. I kind of just like only went for large properties. And I feel like that kind of bit me because they're a lot harder to get rid of than the smaller ones are. Turnover rate is a lot smaller.
Yeah, mine would probably be the point at which I got too sidetracked and distracted, or I feel like a lot of that had to deal with like just general frustration with, because I know like a lot of a lot of the community and early adopters, like even being a moderator, like just seeing it the constant negativity that the Discord was receiving, like right at that point. I don't know if you guys, if you were around for this, but like in that 2021, like there was a huge spike and Upland wasn't really able to even keep up, and it was just madness. And like we kind of knew that, like what was going on, that they weren't able to even handle, like from a staffing and a dev and a community management standpoint. They weren't able to handle the influx, but and it caused a lot of frustrations, and it distracted me. And I wish that I didn't let that happen, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunity, man. And a lot of like that was a big influx. And I guess I didn't realize what it was and how it likely wasn't going to be like that again when it was happening, if that makes sense. So I kind of missed out on a lot. And yeah, if I could undo that mistake, I would have stayed there and caked it up a little more.
Yeah. Do you think Upland should allow the community to edit their in-game name?
So that's a good question. No. No.
Can I take this?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sam,
go for it.
I think yes, only if they were like also added a way to validate people who have certain names, because like somebody like Abdullah would be easily, or TML, like a lot of the larger players would start to get replicated by other players with scam offers. And
Right.
I doubt people
Right.
would look as closely at an offer to make sure it's a scam if it's coming from somebody using like a fake TML account.
So like a blue
Okay,
check mark
so,
name.
so
Yeah,
exactly,
like
that's what I was
they would
gonna
need a
say.
Twitter verified type of
So,
thing if they were to have
do you
where you
think
can change your account.
do you think
So
KYC?
NFL players have that. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
There's a
In the
verified.
Yes.
game?
Yes. Yes,
Uh-huh.
they do.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Do you think
Yeah.
the community should have an orange tick mark if the NFL players have a blue one?
Why can't they be the
Why
same color?
orange?
Put a football
They
next to
they
them. We get
they probably they want a utility which is like an extra added layer. Like, for
Yeah.
example, if Elon Musk comes tomorrow, obviously they would like to give him a blue tick, right?
They
Yeah.
would, although I would imagine the name Elon is taken, which is yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, because once you start going down that road, then you invite a lot of unintended issues. And like Sam was saying, like we kind of already have seen the imposters. Like,
Yeah.
did you know there's a thank me now?
Right.
Dude, I think Sam was
Right.
searching for me the other day,
I-
and he told me how many TDavises there was.
Oh yeah, there are. Yeah. If you look up TDavis.
Ugh. Which I'm
Right.
not saying they're imposters, but like I'm likely more just a common surname. But yeah, that's funny. I don't know. I wouldn't mind changing my name, but also I like the fact that I got it early and secured it. And I mean, it's kind of the reason why I even have TDavis, such an uncool nickname or whatever they're called. It's because I was never able to
Gamer
get that
tag.
other game ever. It was always taken by somebody, and I was early enough in Upland to get TDavis, so I took it. Um, so I don't know. Uh, yes and no, maybe. I don't know.
If if you were to choose the first brand that should enter Upland, what would it be?
Oh, the first brand? That's a good question. So I don't know that there hasn't already been, because I would say Spirit, and even
I mean,
NFL.
like a commercial activity, a brand that is selling products within Upland in the
Oh,
metaverse.
okay.
I don't want that within Upland, low key.
Yeah, commercial.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It would have to be somebody I respect in that, in the corporate world, which I don't know that there is. I don't know that there's anybody that I respect in the core. They're all evil. So yeah, I might stick with Sam on this one and say, nah, I don't want that either.
All right. Here's an unpopular opinion. People who are in Alcatraz and have abandoned ship, they're not willing to pay their fine and are not willing
Right.
to do anything, right? But
Huh?
they have properties assigned to them.
Yeah.
Should those properties, after a time, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, should they be seized and auctioned off to the community?
I think that once we start getting more into upland governance, um, that's the time where that decision gets made by the community and the governance of it, and hopefully that those types of rules and things that, because yeah, like nobody likes to see. Um, I saw on Twitter or something, somebody had posted about like this ghost town, like where they had inaugurated all, like they started these buildings but they never inaugurated them, so like they're all like that translucent ghost like look, and it's the whole block or whatever, and like yeah, that looks like crap, and a lot of cities like Fresno and Oakland and San Francisco, and like the kind of like cheaper early cities where just multi-accounting was just rampant, and probably still is, and those players have been thrown into Alcatraz and, like you said, abandoned. Like that kind of sucks for those streets and neighborhoods that were so heavily impacted by that, where those properties just remain locked, or essentially. So yeah, I would like to see upland governance, the community come up with those rules and ways to deal with that, and vote on it and make it a community decision. I think that would be the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. How about you, Sam?
I feel like that's very just un-blockchain. I don't know if that makes sense, but I I would be sad if Upland did that. I feel like it would kind of be showing that they're willing to take players' assets, even though they may be justified in doing so for these assets. I think there's a different solution to just straight up taking them from the player. Maybe something where like it's technically in the ownership of like the city or something, and as we start to release city councils or something, then that's somewhere where they might, like, the city could vote to remove like the land from certain players and like within that city, and then that way it's more of like a government built within the game that's controlling whose lands are taken because they've been in Alcatraz for whoever wants to define what too long is. And then like you'd see cities governed differently, and I think that would be a great addition to the game, rather than just like Upland throwing a hammer down and being like, they're ours now, we're going to go resell those to other people.
Absolutely. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you think what's being discussed is nice and you'd like to join the discussion, please comment below. And if you'd like to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you. As a person that owns Grand Central Station, Sam, let me ask you this question. Are you and I mean this in the most respectful way, are you worried of an untimely death and all your assets not being able to be passed on to the next of your kin,
No,
your
TD and I
parents?
have a plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got this.
If I die first, he's got me. If he dies first, I got him. And then,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe we should fly together less, but
yeah, that's a good point. Because then who? I don't know.
technically,
But
I've told my parents that they're going to be in charge of it if I did pass
yeah,
before they do, but I doubt they'll figure it out.
yeah, we need a contingency plan for our next time we fly.
Do you do
Should
you
get
think
Noah trained out.
do you think Upland should consider estate planning where you could nominate the next of your kin who inherits your
Absolutely.
account?
I feel like that was in a
It was
roadmap.
it was in the AMA back last year.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that they've always had. Um, and yeah, it makes
Especially for
sense.
especially for people that are putting like thousands of dollars, right? You don't want to
Right.
just
Yeah, Sam and I have both put in over 10K USD, and our accounts are worth well more than that at this point. And yeah, it's not nothing by any means.
does
So
that keep you up at night? Not
there's
personally,
literally
because you go,
nothing that keeps me up at night. I sleep like a baby when I do decide to sleep. Um, but yes, is it something that? Well, I mean, yeah. I think Sam and I both like you said, we are we're kind of relying on each other in the event of something terrible happening, and it's not. Um, I've had these conversations with several people in the community that I'm close with, and we all kind of are leaning and hoping that one another will make sure that we do right by our families and whatnot. Make sure that things like private keys and passwords and all of that are recovered and taken care of. And the bigger issue in my eyes is aggregating everything, right? Because I don't just have a huge hold in Upland, like I have it all over the place, but there's no real good solution for multi-chain, multi-asset beneficiary management, if that makes sense. So that's the bigger issue that I feel like needs to be addressed. Upland, I'm not worried about it.
do you think it presents an opportunity for someone to run with it and create a startup?
Yeah, if they could figure that out, that's going to need to be somebody big with a lot of money, though. We'll see it eventually. One of those big banks will be like, yeah, we're going to jump into the Web3 and we're going to do this. We're investing 5 billion into it or something crazy like that. Yeah, we'll see it eventually. We have to. It's a need that needs to be filled. So we'll see it.
Do you see Upland long term becoming a DAO with the whole, at least the community governance and everything?
So
You-
so I don't believe in DAOs. I think that and it's funny because when I like I was so attracted to the idea of decentralization when I got into this space. And I like it's a fairy tale though. Like nothing decentralized, like you can never have true decentralization of anything. And the reason why is because people are awful. Like like individually we're cool, as a whole like we suck. Like somebody will ruin it.
Put it this
Yeah.
way. So think of DAO not as a decentralized autonomous organization, but
Right.
think of it as a democratized autonomous organization where every KYC player has a say in every decision. Whatever,
Yeah.
however small,
Okay.
however big, everyone has a say. A true democracy per se.
Yeah. So like I was saying, you have to have some centralization, period. So if we were talking more of like a democratized organization, yeah, I can see Upland shifting a lot of the autonomy, I guess, of the game to the third party developer. Like I think that's kind of like the plan, right? I would hope so. Like the vision that I have for like a true metaverse is where it's guided by a centralized set of rules and guidelines that are immutable and you can't break them. And there's even if there's somebody, a centralized organization that oversees the enforcement of that, like that exists to keep order and appropriateness and all of that, but then everything else being built and created by the community. Like I think that's what like a real metaverse looks like. Ready Player One, like even though that's kind of fantasy, that's I feel like that's the promised land. Like that's where we're trying to get to, right? Where it's do, create, and do and create whatever you want, but obviously within the confines of appropriateness and reality.
Absolutely. So I have a question for Sam. Sam, we all know you own Grand Central Station, right? And maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse, but what's your plans for Grand Central Station? How do you want to develop that? Because I know you, that's your Kohinoor diamond of your portfolio, if I can
I
use
think it's
that
going to
analogy.
completely depend on what Upland lets me do. Like, I feel like I don't want to try to come up with plans because it'll just
What if
depend
you
on
had
where the
free
game
reign?
goes.
What if you had free reign? What if you were pitching Dirk and giving him your pitch? Look, Dirk, this is what I want to do. Or Idan,
I mean,
what would your
my biggest
be?
pitch is that like I want to have control over the like short boarding the train video that everybody sees when they get on Grand Central Station.
Yeah, there we
But
go.
I don't think they would ever let somebody do that.
Okay, and so as a person that owns Grand Central Station, right? And I know Uplands talked about this previously, but we haven't heard it recently. They wanted to create the flights and the trains immersive. So you're not just waiting for them to reach the destination, right? You can do something within that mode of transportation while it's going, while that 30 minutes or whatever. You can't do anything else within Upland. You can do something within the train or the plane or the
Can't you
bus.
still buy properties while you're on the?
You cannot. So from that, Sam, when for instance, if with Grand Central Station, right, if you're going within a train or a plane or a bus or whatever, if you can interact with the other players that are on the bus, or maybe have an interactive session or play a game or whatever, do you have any such features you think you would propose to Upland?
I don't I kind of want to just wait and see if they unveil them. I feel like that's the easier way to do it. I feel like I wouldn't try to propose anything to Upland at the moment, honestly.
Okay.
I feel like I'm also just focused on the building of Grand Central right now. So I feel like, I don't know. I know I've also like when I first bought it, like dreamed up things that I feel like aren't going to happen. And if they did happen, would be too far away to like be making plans around it right now.
Okay. Would you like multiple MetaVentures to be based out of Grand Central, like it is in real life?
I mean, that would be pretty cool. Like pay rent or something. That'd be, yeah. I feel like that all would happen once there's the ability to actually like go into VR and enter Grand Central as like a 3D space that actually has like shops in there that you can see.
Yep.
Like I
But
feel like it won't really have the effect that it has in real life until that's possible.
But that may go against your preference of not having commercial activity, because an Expedia would love to pay for it. Maybe a MetaVentures would, but Expedia's, what if an Expedia would pay for every train station and have a shop where not only are you traveling within the metaverse, but then you can also buy a ticket for real life travel.
They do that.
That's a good point.
Yep. Okay.
I mean,
Any
I was just saying I wasn't opposed to the shops in there, but
okay.
I feel like that would also be like Upland based shops. Like I don't want like Nike coming in here and trying to sell shoes in Upland. I feel like that is a little too commercialized, but I'm not opposed to like the people who actually play and enjoy Upland being able to like use their outside of Upland creativity to design stuff and sell it to other players.
Don't you think that would help compensate the landlords if companies come within Upland?
I mean,
Yeah, I know that's the route that they want to go with it, but doesn't mean we have to like it.
yeah.
I mean, Upland has always said that there is something for everyone, right? So, for instance, I'm not a fan of block explorers. Some people are, right? They love block explorers. And then there are people who love cars. Not everyone may want to go into racing, but some people would, right? So I think even commercial activity, it may not be for everyone, but some people may want to do that, right? So for instance, if you have created Portage Park, which is really popular, and Portage Park develops into a commercial zone where commercial activity is happening, not everyone needs to participate in that, right? There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, that concludes the interview with Trent and Sam. Guys, thank you for joining us. And it was a great pleasure to have you both here.
Dude, thank you so much for having us on, man. Super appreciate it. And can't wait to see more Metaverse Journal episodes, man.
Absolutely.
Likewise. Yeah. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you, guys. And Trent, let us know when the Upland extension's ready. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah, dude.
And-
Yep. It'll
Absolutely.
be soon.
And for all the viewers, my final thought, as in every article and every video, you be the arbiter of truth, the viewers of the Metaverse Street Journal. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you think what's being discussed is nice and you'd like to join the discussion, please comment below. And if you'd like to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.